Well, let's continue that conversation about these new inflation numbers, Wall Street's rough ride, and the White House role in all of this with Democratic strategist Kevin Walling and Fox News contributor Jason Chaffetz. Jason, you heard the defense from the White House here, from the president himself. He says you're talking about 0.1% from last month to this month, or the previous month to last month. Underlying numbers are good. Jobs numbers have been pretty solid. What do you say to that?
They're not talking plain English to the American people about the core issue that they're concerned about going into the election. For the President of the United States to say he's not concerned about inflation, all the Republicans need to do is just run that ad. And then the White House spokesperson trying to say, well, the deficit's been reduced. There is no family in America that's sitting around the table and say, hey, guess what, honey? Hey, kids, guess what? The deficit's been cut a little bit. Nobody is talking about that. That's why I think Democrats are struggling right now. They don't have a message. They spent trillions of dollars and they made the situation worse, not better.
And then there's also the criticism that loan forgiveness, student loan forgiveness, swamps that over. Kevin, this event today at the White House with James Taylor and the rest of the crowd, is that a strategic blunder, or you've got on one side of the screen this Inflation Reduction Act, on the other side you've got Wall Street tanking over inflation? Yeah,
Rich, certainly the timing of it with the situation on Wall Street was not great for the White House. I'm a Democratic strategist and surrogate for the president.
You wouldn't have strategized
I would freely
that?
admit that was problematic. But listen, what the president said today was highlighting the key aspects of that bill. It's going to cut costs when it comes to health care for 13 million Americans. It's going to cut energy costs by the kind of $800 at least a year for American families. So to Jason's point, Democrats have to do a better job getting out the great benefits of this package that was passed single-handedly by Democrats. And you compare that to Republicans. They've got 50 Senate seats right now. They've got no plan. Their plan today was this extreme abortion plan for a nationwide ban on late-term abortion. That's the comparison we want 55 days out from this election.
So that's the comparison, and then Kevin just brought it up. I do want to go quickly more on inflation here, Jason. What do Republicans have to do on inflation, other than just let the numbers speak for themselves? What are Republicans going to tell voters that they're going to do on inflation?
They need to speak directly about what they want to do to reduce the cost of energy. This high rise in the price of energy is self-inflicted by the Biden and the Democrats. They didn't need to do that. What are the other aspects that they can do? Education, crime, the immigration. These are all core tier one issues that Republicans need to talk about. Don't take the bait. Don't be out there talking about January 6th. Don't be talking about Donald Trump. Go out and talk about issues that Americans care about.
Now, Kevin, we've seen some of the polling begin to favor Democrats a little bit recently in the general ballot. These are all going to be individual races, but that is encouraging for Democrats. But you still have a situation where you have an incumbent president. You've got, as Democrats, control of the House, the Senate, and the White House. That does not look good for an incumbent party, especially with the economic picture as it is when it comes to inflation. How do Democrats get out of that?
Yeah, it's a good point, Rich. And of course, historical trends against the Democrats heading into this midterm election. But what I'm buoyed about, what I'm excited about, are the two new House members, former colleagues, now new colleagues of Jason, in Congress from Alaska. The fact that we changed that seat after 60 years of Republican control and held that special election in New York, I think is indicating what a lot of people did not think was going to happen with this midterm election, that we are flipping the script on Republican control potentially heading into November.
Democrats are definitely trying to turn the script as well. Kevin mentioned it earlier, Jason, this idea that there's been this focus on abortion after the Dobbs decision. You had Senator Lindsey Graham put out this 15-week abortion ban today. Is he helping the Republican midterm cause here at all?
Lindsey Graham's going to do what Lindsey Graham does. But the reality is these issues go back to the state. They will be vigorously debated. But as far as the national election, what the senators are going to be out there talking about, the House members are going to be talking about inflation, energy, crime, immigration. Those are the core issues. Foreign policy, those are the things they need to talk about.
And so how do Democrats flip the script, Kevin?
Yeah, to Jason's point, he just said it should be left up to the states, which is where Lindsey Graham was just a month ago after the Dobbs decision. The fact that he took most of his colleagues by surprise, I think by this announcement, is something that we will obviously campaign on. He doesn't have the co-sponsors that he used to with a 20-week ban, and you saw none of his colleagues join him with this, including 9 of his female Senate Republican colleagues. So this is certainly something we're going to campaign on. He's in leadership. He's poised to take back control of the Senate Judiciary Committee if Republicans are successful in November. This is a huge animating issue, not just for base Democrats, but for independents and moderate Republicans.
Jason, quick final word to you.
I think Lindsey Graham will have the gavel. He will be the chairman, and I think the Senate and the House are flipping hands.
Gentlemen, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Rich.
Less than a month before the trial of